Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Friends. My name is Cody Leach, and as always, I'm joined by Christian.
Sup, peoples?
Sup, peoples? Thank you guys for coming back and listening or watching, however you prefer to ingest this podcast. We do appreciate it, and please, tell your friends if you like it. Tell your friends if you don't like it. Tell them, and maybe they'll listen or watch ironically. So
yeah, or cool. Get hate comments. We'll take those too.
Yeah, and we're saying it right now. If Joe Rogan stays on Spotify, we'll probably stay on there too. It's good for the exposure, but we're not gonna like it.
What's funny is I was gonna bring that up. I guess who else? So Neil
Young, Joni Mitchell, and some other people.
There's rumors, Foo Fighters, which I feel like that one would hurt. The Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Barry Manilow.
Well, here's the problem with the whole everyone saying like, you know what, I'm gonna leave Spotify. The people who listen to Joe Rogan more regularly and in larger quantities than the people who listen to the Foo Fighters or Neil Young or Joni Mitchell. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
when was the last? Like I'm a huge Neil Young fan. Like he's one of my favorite artists of all time. I can't tell you the last time I listened to 3 hours of Neil Young in a row. You know what I mean? And that's every week, multiple times a week for Joe Rogan.
But for the Joe Rogan show, you have to pay outside of whatever Spotify's charging, right?
I'm not 100% sure. I've been a subscriber to Spotify for so long, I can't even tell. But yeah, man, like I get it. I saw his little, this is podcast in general news. I saw his little Joe Rogan's response. And honestly, as far as responses go, it was actually pretty good. He's like, "Hey, look, I don't do what you're claiming that I do intentionally, but I can do better, and I promise to do better." So I'm like, you know what, I'm okay with that.
He's not going to do it though.
He's
definitely not going to do it. If he hasn't done it before, he's not going to do it now. I did see someone put in like clips of where like he had people correct him live on his show, and he's like, "No, I just don't agree." It's like, dude, he just proved you wrong. Like,
right? Yeah. I mean, that's the huge criticism, right? Is that he does have people on both sides of the issue, no matter what issue it is, whether it's hunting or COVID or whatever, you know what I mean? Or just political in general. He does have both sides on there, but it's very clear whenever you watch those episodes or even clips from those episodes, the people he agrees with. The people he agrees with, he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, you know what? I saw that too," and blah blah blah. People he doesn't agree with, he's like, no, I just don't see that, and just cuts them off. So
even when he gets his minion, I forgot his minion's name.
Jamie.
Yeah, he was always telling him, "Hey, look that up, Jamie." And then Jamie was like, "Actually," and he pulls up the facts like, "You got to look at the other statistics. You got to look at the other, like, who reported that?" It's just like, dude, all right, well, clearly you've made your decision and you're just going to stick to it.
Well, anyway, we at Nerds with Friends vowed never to be Joe Rogan. We accepted popularity. We can't help that if that happens. We would love that to happen.
We're saying that we'll refuse to be on his show.
Well, yeah, unless he invites us.
Then we'll go.
But only if he invites us, or if we know a guy who can get us on or something. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing, following on all the social medias, whatever it is you do to support the show. We do appreciate you guys. If you do want to take it one step further, make sure you check out patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. You can support us for $1 or $2 a month. We do appreciate that. Every little bit helps. It's how we buy new mic cables and pay for the studio and things like that, among other things.
Yeah, we got to get Cody's penis reduction, too. We're saving up for that. We don't have enough yet.
Yeah, and any more, it'll be inside of me. Oh, God. Well, today, if you're listening to this the day it came out, or even the week it came out, this week you can pre-order your The Batman tickets. So we're doing a whole episode about Batman. And I think, we've even done, segments and stuff before about like Batman and, what the best storyline was and all that kind of stuff. But I think today we're just going to focus on the movie versions of Batman. And we're not going to just say who's the best Batman, but we're going to go in categories. So things like best Batmobile, best villains, best Bruce Wayne interpretation. all to get you guys amped up for the upcoming Robert Pattinson Batman movie coming out here in March. So hope you guys enjoy that. Before we do that, though, let's do some nerdy confessions where we confess the things that make us nerds. Christian, start us off.
Nerdy confession, just binge watched and caught up to everything, which I didn't know wasn't completely out. Righteous Gemstones. It's fucking hilarious with Danny McBride and John Goodman and the one dude from Workaholics. I don't remember his name. Not the guy with the fur and not the tall guy, but the one, the most successful one.
Adam, I forget his last name, but yeah. Adam.
That's and I don't know her name, but this actress that looks a lot like Weird Al in drag, like spot on. And they're all siblings, and they're all televangelists. They're all the prophet preachers, with John Goodman being the dad, and it's hilarious. You guys should watch it. It's
on HBO, right?
It's on HBO Max. Season 1 is complete. I think they're on like 3 or 4 episodes of season 2, which I thought they had just released the whole thing, and I'm bummed out once I caught up. Like, now I can't finish the season, but it's pretty good. It's pretty fucking funny.
Nice.
You guys should all watch it.
Yeah, I've it's always looked interesting, and it's one of those things where it's like it wasn't interesting enough where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start watching this today. I was just like, yeah, someday I'll watch that. So maybe coming up soon, maybe I'll jump into it.
It's Danny McBride being Danny McBride.
Yeah, and I mean that's great that he's a character unto himself for sure. My nerd confession. Look, we're not going to do a whole episode on this yet, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention last week's episode of Book of Boba Fett.
Now, when you say last week's, you're talking about in real time us, or
I'm talking in podcast time. So the one we just watched today or yesterday, and even the one before that. We won't spoil it too much. We'll put a light little spoiler alert. Obviously we get a little, and if you've seen any social media, it's already been ruined for you, but we get a lot of, Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, in those 2 episodes. And, the most recent one, episode 6 in particular, was just like, God damn, this is why I love Star Wars.
I just want to say I was right. It was my first guess that it was going to be chainmail. That was my first guess
for Grogu. Yeah. But yeah, if you guys aren't watching the Book of Boba Fett, like, don't get me wrong, the first 4 episodes, I can kind of take them or leave them. There's good stuff in there. There's also some like bad stuff in there, but God damn, these last 2 episodes are like pinnacle Star Wars. And I don't say that lightly. It's like, as a Star Wars fan, and I'm a very accepting Star Wars fan. You can see I'm even wearing a freaking Darth Vader shirt today. I'm a very accepting Star Wars fan. The last 3 movies that came out, look, we all realized they weren't great, right? But there was good stuff in there, and I can sit down and enjoy them, especially if I'm like running through all 9 of them. But it's been a tough time as Star Wars fans. The Mandalorian has been one like shining beacon of hope for the future of the Star Wars, canon, if you will. And, every once in a while, like when I think they're stumbling, like the beginning of Book of Boba, it's not bad, but it's just okay. But goddamn, they reel me back in, and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau they obviously share a love for Star Wars like the rest of us, and it comes across in the screen. Where the other movies, like don't get me wrong, I don't think J.J. Abrams hates Star Wars or doesn't get Star Wars. But he's also just out there to make like a big budget blockbuster movie. He doesn't have, I don't feel like he has that love and attention to detail that someone like Dave Filoni and even Jon Favreau do. Because like we saw that with Jon Favreau on Iron Man, right? It would be very easy to make Iron Man into a big budget blockbuster movie that doesn't really play homage to Tony Stark, the character. But no, he took the time and made sure that he got the right person and wrote the right story, and it turned into something that spawned the biggest movie franchise of all time, essentially, being like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I know we're not going to go into it in too much detail, but I just want to, I guess spoilers. Okay. Luke is back in it. And that's
huge spoilers.
Whatever.
That's 100% huge spoilers, but that's fine.
But I need to talk about the bullshit choice he gave. I guess another spoiler.
We're talking about the whole episode, apparently.
No, I have to talk about it because I had no one else to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because no one else loves it as much as that I know that you do.
Sure.
It's kind of a bullshit choice he gave Grogu between the chainmail and the lightsaber.
I mean, honestly, I don't think so. I mean, look, it's a terrible decision to have to make because essentially he has to choose between a gift from the Mandalorian or Yoda's lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, here, you can have this shirt that your dad made you or whatever, or and he knows he's talking to a kid. You could take this nice
fucking laser
shiny toy. Look how it glows. Like, look, don't you want this? This is what you want, really.
Well,
what's a kid gonna pick?
Well, no, I think, first of all, Grogu's not a child. He's 90 years old.
He's 50.
I think he was 90.
50.
I thought that's what they said in the first. It doesn't matter. 50 or 90, he's not a child. He's been around the block quite a bit, right? He's seen some shit, right? We saw some Order 66 stuff in the episode. But
Jesus, Cody just spoiled the whole fucking thing, man.
No one cares about that. The fact that freaking Luke Skywalker is in it.
It's been a week. You guys should have seen it.
But yeah, I think it makes sense for like becoming a Jedi because realistically, that's what being a Jedi is all about, and that's part of the reason. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong. I wasn't a huge Clone Wars fan, but that's part of the reason why Ahsoka left the Jedis. Like, she's not technically a Jedi.
No.
She's Jedi trained Force wielder.
She's a gray without the gray lightsaber, but I would say she's more gray. But yes.
Well, she just abandoned the Jedi religion. Remember, it is a religion in that universe. But part of the tenets of it is you have to give up your connections to everyone else, right? And obviously, Baby Yoda, Grogu, and the Mandalorian have a very strong connection. And Luke knows better than anyone else what a strong connection can do. Flirting with the dark side, and his dad turned to the dark side. So,
see, what I call a little bit of bullshit in that decision is he didn't give up his sister. He didn't give up his best friend Han or his other best friend Chewie. That's what's like, well, dude, you had connections to people, like, so that's why I thought it was a little bit of bullshit. I get it from story-wise telling. And don't get me wrong, I love the fucking episode and it makes total sense.
I mean, let's not forget though, like he hasn't from all we've seen of Luke, he did give up Han and Leia. Like, we don't see them hanging out on the island with them. He's not in the rebellion with them, rebuilding the Republic anymore. So he is kind of a hermit, right? So I mean, I can kind of see that for sure. But that was one thing, is that the Emperor tried to tempt him with it. Remember, that was the whole deal with the Endor thing. He's like, I'm afraid the shield generators are quite operational. It's he was using his attachment to his friends to tempt him to the dark side, right? So I can see why he's hesitant about letting him remember the Mandalorian. But also, he says, like, look, he's so long lived, their species lives for so long, that a normal person's life is just going to be a short time for them. I'm like, so fuck off for 50 years, hang out with your dad
till he dies, and
then come back and learn from one of Luke's apprentices. It'll be fine. So, but yeah, it's great.
We all know where it's going to go, though.
I hope. I mean, one thing that strongly hints at it. First of all, I mean, like, they're not going to break up that family, right? The Mandalorian and Baby Grogu is just, it's too, like, there's too many like toy options. You know what I mean? There's too many moments where they're just like, oh my God, they love each other so much. I will die for both.
Also, the accessories are switching from his little, sack, his little sack of flour to like now the chainmail. So
yeah, exactly.
Although he's gonna need little shorts or pants or something. He can't go out with his little ding dong.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, just letting it. That's how he jumps around so high. He's just free balling it,
just everywhere.
But he did build. He's flying the Mandalorian's flying that new Naboo starfighter that he hot rodded out, which that scene was amazing. But there's where the astromech droid normally goes, like R2-D2 or whatever. There's just a little bubble, and I'm like, if Baby Yoda doesn't end up in that fucking bubble, I'm going to fucking throw my Apple TV out the window.
He needs a little turret. He needs
the little fighter pilot goggles like Anakin wore.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would die. But
which makes you wonder, if he doesn't make the lightsaber, is he going to get like a little firearm? He has to get a little gun.
And a jetpack.
Yeah.
Oh God, I would love it. Or a little Mando helmet with ear holes. God damn it.
Oh, it's got to be metal. He can't get his little ear blasted off. It's
okay. No, it's got to have the ears out. So, and then it just like fits over. It's got little slots in it, so it just goes on the outside of the ears. Yeah, God damn, I want that so bad. But yeah, check it out, guys. Book of Boba. It's great. There's one episode left, and after that episode, we'll do a full deep dive into it, and talk about what we thought of it, where it's going, what it means for the future of the Star Wars universe. There's some other stuff we didn't spoil in that episode, so there's still plenty to see in there. But yeah, it started out just kind of okay, this is all right, to holy shit, this is maybe better than some of the Mandalorian, even some of these last two episodes anyway. So check it out, guys. It is awesome. Streaming now, Disney Plus. And by the time you listen to this, the last episode will be coming out either like today or tomorrow. So next week we will cover in depth Book of Boba and the future of Star Wars. But cool. Well, we're going to take a quick little break, ski poo. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about who is the best Batman. We'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, so it's very easy for, a lot of us to go out there and pick out like, well, you know what, the best Batman of all time was Christian Bale, with the Heath Ledger Joker, and blah blah blah. It's really easy to like pick out your favorite for arbitrary reasons, but I think what makes Batman is so much more than just Batman, right? You got Bruce Wayne, how he portrays this billionaire playboy guy who has a secret identity that he's hiding, right? Who are the villains in those movies? And how good did they play off of Batman, right? What did the Batmobile look like? What kind of gadgets did he use? There's all sorts of different categories of what makes Batman Batman. So we figured we'd break it down into a couple different categories and kind of go over some of our favorites and why we kind of choose that. So let's first of all start off with, since I have these pictures up, let's start off with Batmobiles, right? The car that the Dark Knight drives, right? And we're not including this new one, even though we have seen the new Batmobile, which I think fucking looks sick.
Yeah, it looks pretty fucking dope.
But we're going to be including all of the movie portrayed Batmobiles. Sorry about that. So we had the Adam West Batmobile, which is like super 60s, right? It's got the two little bubbles for Batman and Robin to sit in. It's got the big old fins on the back, like a 50s Cadillac, 60s Cadillac. We got the Tim Burton Batmobile from Batman and Batman Returns. The Val Kilmer Batman Forever Batman Batmobile, which had the big old fins on the side and a little silver underneath the little grills on the side. This is the George Clooney one, which I actually forgot about. I thought he used the same one as the Batman Forever one.
To be fair, I feel everyone tries to forget George Clooney is Batman.
100%. But much sharper, a lot pointier.
Other than Mr. Freeze. That's the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Right. It was Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy and Bane. Then we got the Tumbler. Classic Batman Begins through Dark Knight Rises. And then the Batman versus Superman / Justice League, Ben Affleck, Batfleck, Batmobile.
I'm actually glad you brought that one up, because that actually is my favorite one.
That's your favorite one?
That's my favorite one, because it's a nice hybrid between the classic and the Tumbler, which I thought was a cool fucking look.
I agree. I think, I don't think it's my favorite, but I agree that it doesn't get enough credit because people are like, fucking Batfleck, Martha, blah. They pick out other parts of the movie that they don't like. The Batmobile is fucking sick.
Yeah.
And the action that they used with the Batmobile was great. Yeah. Was fantastic. So I think that's actually a good one.
But again, like the middle part looks like Tim Burton's.
Like this part right here looks like the Tim Burton, and the outside kind of looks like the Tumbler.
Yeah, which I thought was a nice. Like I feel like when people try to mix like genres or mixed looks, like it doesn't usually come off great, but that's a fucking great one.
Also, a lot of times when new people get their hands on a property like Batman, they try to ignore everything that came before and just be like, oh, this is mine now, which is what Christopher Nolan did.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't look anything like what any other Batmobile has ever looked like. Not remotely close. Though I will say it looks almost like the Bat Tank from the Dark Knight comic book. I mean, kinda. Yeah. Loosely inspired. Which we actually, I think we see that in one of the flash forward sequences in the Snyder Cut. My favorite though, Tim Burton Batman.
It is a classic, man.
It's so good. When I think of the Batmobile, everything is compared to this one.
I still don't know what that middle nipple is in the car, but
it's a jet turbine.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because it lines up with the back, and so the air gets forced in there.
Oh, look at that! Learn something new.
And then remember I forget which, I think it was Batman Returns, where the slides split off and it gets really skinny to split the gap in some weird building. God, so fucking sick. I asked a bunch of my buddies who I play Apex Legends with, including Joel and Calvin, who do the Pex Pals podcast. Check them out if you're into Apex Legends. And everyone hands down agreed that this was their favorite, the Tim Burton Batmobile. And I can't blame them. It's
looking
fucking
at
sick.
it now, it kind of looks like Scooby-Doo's face a little bit, or like a dog's.
Yeah, maybe
the
a little
parts
bit.
And the snout in the front.
Yeah, exactly. It looks. We didn't mention it because we're just talking live action movies, but the Batman animated series I think is like also a very good one. Takes a lot of inspiration.
I thought we were talking about all genres of Batman, so yeah, I had some animated series, but no, there's a lot of cool stuff in the animated series as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's a really classic shape, and then, hey, you know what? The Adam West one, the funky colors and the red is a little crazy, but that's a fucking sick car.
I feel like I've seen people own this car before, modify it.
Because I think it's a T-Bird, if I'm not mistaken.
Someone will
I think it's a
us.
Ford Thunderbird or something. So I think there are like maybe kits out there where you can people have done it before and you can kind of make it happen. But hey, it's a fucking cool looking car. Definitely not Tim Burton cool, but pretty damn cool. So you said the newest one.
That's my favorite one.
That's your favorite. And
it's a
Tim Burton.
Very, very, very close tie with the Tim Burton one because the Tim Burton one's a classic.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And now let's talk what another important part of Batman is the bat suit. So let's think about all the bat suits through the years. Which one would be your favorite?
It's gonna sound biased, but it's the same fucking answer as the Batmobile, and it's Ben Affleck's suit. Was my favorite. It looked fucking cool. It looked like you can actually move in it, and it looked like you can actually fuck someone up with it. And my second close tie was the Tim Burton one, man. It's just there's a lot of stills where he's just staring into something, and it's like, dude, I want to fucking draw that. Like, there's a lot of even that one right there, like this one right
here. Yeah,
it just looks so fucking cool.
Right. And I think that's one of those things too, is that a lot of people don't realize that the Tim Burton Batmans were like the first time Batman was this kind of like dark, gritty character and universe that he was in. Everything else, up until that, was very kind of what's the word, campy and holy rusted metal Batman.
But look at the Ben Affleck one. Like all these other ones, you could look at it and be like, oh, that's a cool costume. The Ben Affleck one looks like that dude will fuck you up.
Yeah. So mine hands down favorite. If you've listened to this podcast at all, you should know this. Mine hands down favorite is the Ben Affleck one. I don't think anything else comes close as far as what I look for in a Batman. The Keaton one is awesome. Yeah. When he's standing still. When he
can't turn his head.
When he's moving, it becomes kind of a different thing. A lot of people will fucking be surprised about this one, but I think the George Clooney one where, like, don't get me wrong, there are nipples on the bat suit. It's fucking crazy.
You beat me too. I was gonna wait. It's like I'm gonna give him a pause. But wait till he's not speaking. Mention the nipples.
You mentioned the nipples. But when he and Robin and Batgirl all have the silvered out like sick ass ones, those ones are pretty cool looking too. You know what I mean? Like that one right there just looks fucking dope. But dude, the Ben Affleck one is so good. It looks directly out of The Dark Knight. The big old chunky Batman symbol. I even like the bat armor, which, again, there were so many good parts of those movies that get shit on because people didn't like the rest of Dawn of Justice or the Justice League. But the bat armor was fucking sick looking too.
It looked like he could hold his own with these other superhuman people.
Right.
So it worked for me. It's like, yeah, I could see this human guy in that suit and he could hang with him. Like he's not going to be left behind.
Exactly. Cool. Well, we're both in agreement on that one. I was surprised. I thought you would have just gone like Keaton or even Christian Bale. But to me, like, the Christian Bale one, that's the George Clooney one. That looks fucking sick.
Very futuristic looking.
Yeah. The Christian Bale one always looked weird to me. That they just never quite got the cowl right, the helmet. Especially when they like separated it, which I get it. It's cool so he can like move his neck around. That was always kind of a problem with a lot of these suits, is they do all this like latex rubber, so you can't move your face around because you're just like locked in position. So they gave him kind of like this biker helmet looking one, and it fits the lore where he's like adapting all this military equipment and stuff to his suit. But it just that looks like shit to me. It looks like he's got such a fat head, and I don't know, just very, very interesting. Now, this next category I had for us, probably going to be a short one, because there's not a lot of competition. Who has the best Batman voice?
The best Batman voice?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I'm going to feel like I'm picking the same answer. I'm going to go with Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. The reason why it's such a short category is that the only ones who changed their voice at all were Ben Affleck and Christian Bale, really.
Yeah.
Like whenever you saw like George Clooney or Val Kilmer.
Well, George Clooney didn't even try to change his voice.
Right. He's just like, I'm George Clooney. I'm also Bruce Wayne. Deal with it.
Val Kilmer seemed like he just got more serious.
He got more like morose, but he didn't put on the Batman voice. So it's kind of a recent thing. Adam West he's just crazy.
I also did what I liked about Ben Affleck's one is he had like a robotic thing that actually helped change it, like where it didn't like it was just monotone. Like I don't know.
Right, it had like a voice modulation thing built into the suit, where Christian Bale just fucking smoked 10 packs of cigarettes.
Swear to me,
where is she? He just like screams at whoever he's talking to. I think Batfleck's definitely got a good one. I think the Christian Bale one, it's a cool idea where he's just like, he's doing the deep voice so people don't recognize him as Bruce Wayne. And Bruce Wayne's like, hey, I'm a zany billionaire. And he's just like, I am vengeance. But I think it leads to too many like comical moments where he's just like making a weird fake voice.
I will say I did love when Michael Keaton in the Tim Burton one went full Beetlejuice. Like there's a part where he's like, come on, like he just went full, like full Beetlejuice, and I was like, dude, that's not Batman, that's Beetlejuice right there.
Michael Keaton's fucking sick. And let's, we're kind of doing this episode leading up to the Batman, right? But let's not forget that Michael Keaton is coming back in the new Flash movie, so it's pretty exciting stuff. So we kind of already got a hint of the Burton Batmobile under that tarp in the trailer.
What I've read about Michael Keaton when he was filming the Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland, that anytime they had a stunt and they were together, they were doing it together, he would just whisper in his ear, I'm Batman. I don't know if that's true or not, I want to believe that it's true.
I want to believe so badly that's true.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. Let's talk a little bit about Bat gadgets. So part of Batman's whole deal is, he's got all these cool gadgets, normally prefaced by the word bat. He's got Batarang, got the Batmobile. He's got the Batcopter. Who do you think had some of the best gadgets that you've seen?
Okay, I don't know about best, but I'll tell you my favorite.
Yeah, your favorite.
It's going to deviate from the movie, but it's the Batman the Animated Series.
Okay, that's fair.
And I've actually seen replicas. NECA, who actually one of my favorite toy companies, have all the Gremlins.
NECA, please.
It's Black History Month.
I know. Damn it.
But can't be throwing that.
NECA is the brand we're talking about.
But that one, and it looks honestly like a simple box with like just a line down the middle and just like a little grip, and that's the one.
The grapple hook.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. Like anytime I think about the grapple hook, that's the one that comes to mind. And it kind of makes sense to me. Like it's a big box. Like, dude, if you want a lot of like wire,
exactly.
You're gonna need a lot of space for it. Versus like all the other ones look like a regular gun. I was like, all right, where's the wire?
Yeah, where's all the thousands of feet of cable that's coming?
Yeah. So to me, that one is my favorite one.
I will say that one's pretty good. I do like the Snyder version. Mm-hmm. It's got kind of like a wood handle on it. I'm like, that's kind of classy. Bruce Wayne would like that.
It's sandalwood for sure.
But and let's not forget in the George Clooney one, bat skates. Remember that when they tap their feet together and ice skates come out? Yeah. Where did the skate come from? We don't know.
Is that where the Bat Dance song came out? Prince's song?
I don't know actually. Maybe the Prince.
I keep going. I'll find out.
I know Batman Forever was "Kiss from a Rose" by Seal. Which
all right. If we're talking best songs,
that's
the best fucking song,
hands down. Like, don't get me wrong. I like the Tim Burton. But dude, "Kiss from a Rose," what a banger!
Yeah,
best song, hands down. No, you know what? This is funny. My favorite like bat gadgets. Adam West. Adam West had hands.
It's the shark repellent, bat
shark repellent, right? He had like the bat helicopter.
It was the Joker scene. I'm sorry, the Bat Dance song was with the Joker.
Oh, okay. Which Joker? That?
Oh, come on. We're talking
Heath Ledger. Or
no.
Jack Nicholson. Or Caesar, whatever his name was in
classic.
Yeah, some of the like Adam West bat gadgets were just so funny. I think absolutely takes the cake. Is the shark repellent, which is
you had a bat shield too, right? I mean, there goes the shark repellent scene.
Yeah, there's the shark repellent where he's on the bat copter thing. Oceanic repellent bat sprays. Like he's got multiple different ones. Dude, just so amazing. But I mean, and the red, let's not forget just his red telephone, which is fucking stupid. Like he kept it under like a what do you call that? A glass globe.
Yeah.
When the mayor called, he's like, hello. Then they figured out the actual bat signal. See, there's the Ben Affleck thing. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Very ergonomic. You're hanging on to that thing a lot. But yeah, dude, Adam West.
We also can't forget George Clooney's credit card. I mean,
dude, the American Express card, the Bat card. Never leave home without it. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
From a logistic point of view, whose social are they using?
Yeah,
like you need a social security number for that thing.
Yeah. It turns out it wasn't that hard to figure out who Batman was. It's Bruce Wayne. He has a credit card with the name Batman on it. I mean, who knew?
Always buying ammo and fucking like gas tanks. I don't know. He's buying missiles with
a lot of rubber. I don't know what he's using all this rubber for. Maybe it's some kinky thing. I think there's like the bat sleep spray or something like that. Yeah, it was fucking. Adam West was just all over the
bat
place.
Sleep spray?
Yeah. It's when the dates don't go the way you want them to.
Yeah, I figured he just got that from Bill Cosby or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. I love when you go to a website and it's just like, go to Pinterest. Pinterest fucking sucks. You know what I mean? Like just the navigation. Sorry, that was my Pinterest rant. Okay, let's get down to some nitty gritty now. Some real topics here. Let's talk villains. Batman, I think, has one of the best rogues gallery out there. I think Spider-Man gives him a good run for his money.
Sure.
But besides that, there's not that many super strong ones. You know what I mean? Flash has some okay ones. But Superman, you got Brainiac, you got Bizarro Superman, you got Lex Luthor. There's a couple good ones in there, but with Batman, you got Joker, right? You have the Riddler, Mr. Freeze, Penguin, Catwoman, on a bad day when she's a little angry at you. And then the Court of Owls, which is kind of a newer one, but so good. Bane, Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, Killer Croc. The list goes on and on and on. Definitely has some of the best villains out there. But when it comes to the movies, we haven't seen that many of them.
Yeah.
Really, right? So we've seen like little hints and tastes of a couple of them. But what Bat villain do you think got pulled off the best in a movie?
In a movie.
Yeah.
In a movie, how can we not say Heath Ledger? The guy was fucking amazing.
It's pretty hard not to go with Heath Ledger. And I think most people will agree with that. The dude nailed it. He took the Joker in a place that we had never seen before. And don't get me wrong, I love the Jack Nicholson Joker. I think, to me, honestly, the Jack Nicholson Joker is almost more comic accurate. But from just a performance standpoint, if we're just judging how the performance landed, I think Heath Ledger hands down gets it. Who would be like a runner-up for you?
Oof, a runner-up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Just because, Heath Ledger's so hard to top.
You know what? The Penguin. Just because
Danny DeVito?
I did not ever think Danny DeVito could play like a super awesome villain.
Yeah.
But he fucking crushed it. He was great.
Oh my God. When he's like eating the fish and stuff.
Yeah, or when he bites the guy's fucking nose when he's making fun of him. Oh my
God. So good. Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you. I think Danny DeVito as the Penguin, it would be probably my next runner-up because all the other ones got a little silly.
I think Jim Carrey in a different movie,
right,
as the Riddler would have been great.
I don't think Jim Carrey was a bad Riddler. I think the movie was just written poorly.
Yeah,
but like him doing the Riddler was awesome. Every time he was on screen, he stole the show.
Yeah,
right. I think another one too that was really gone way too soon was the Aaron Eckhart Two-Face.
Yeah,
I would have loved to have seen like a movie where he's actually the bad guy rather than just like the last quarter of it or whatever. I thought he would have been really good too. Ra's al Ghul, Liam Neeson wasn't terrible. It just you didn't get much of the crazy Ra's al Ghulness that you expect from him.
Pool of Lazarus.
Yeah, which is that's like his whole deal.
Yeah,
the Lazarus pit is like his whole deal. But yeah, I think it's potential spam. Get out of here. No one wants you. I think hands down, Heath Ledger Joker is probably the best.
Now if we're gonna go animated series, we gotta give love to Mark Hamill. Who's fucking awesome.
Oh, yes. That's the Joker that everyone else aspires to play, right?
And particularly in the video games where they let him go darker and he could curse.
Yes.
Was fucking great.
Was so good. What the fuck? I'll have to read that later. The Joker's voice, the one that all Jokers are compared to, is Mark Hamill for sure. That guy kills it. Let's talk about movie plot, Christian. A lot of times we don't really think about movie plot when we're looking at superhero movies, right? But I think with Batman, a lot of the movie kind of hinges on what they do with that character. So now rather than we're talking movies, let's talk about actors. Which actor do you think got the best overarching plot for their Batman?
I'd have to say Christopher Nolan. His stuff was just pretty.
Christian Bale's.
Yeah. His was pretty awesome. Even from the beginning, the whole arc. I feel like they covered a lot in that first movie.
Right.
From him just being like
him starting off, then him being Batman.
Yeah.
and then his kind of fall from grace with the city and having to rediscover why he was Batman.
I was just talking about the first one, the first installment. Yeah, I mean,
Batman Begins.
Yeah, that one was pretty good. It's not my favorite Batman, but that's because I have problems with Christopher Nolan. But it was really good in terms of the whole story arc.
Yeah, I think he's probably got one of the strongest. I think is that because he got 3 movies in a row by the same director and same writer. I think he gets a very strong arc for the most part. Those first 2 Christopher Nolan movies, the Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, were fantastic.
I'm glad you said the first 2.
Yeah. It stumbles at the end for sure. There's a lot of things not to like about that one. Like, I don't think Bane was bad. I think his voice was a silly choice. If we're talking about, fucking bad voices, I think Bane's voice is terrible.
Yeah.
I was born in it. Dude, it spawned so many memes for sure. But just the way the story ended and how that was handled, like, oh, it's my given name's Robin. Well, fuck off, Christopher Nolan. That just showed, we talked about how in Star Wars, obviously they love, Favreau and Filoni love Star Wars and pay it the utmost respect. Christopher Nolan paid no respect at all to Batman in that last movie. He just gives up being Batman and goes off and fucks with Catwoman. No, Batman would never do that. No. He sacrifices all of his personal relationships to continue his cause and his crusade. But remember, he's a Cape Crusader. That's like his whole deal. So yeah, I get why he did that, but definitely not my favorite. But yeah, I'd say he's probably got the best one. I think the Ben Affleck one, he didn't get because we never got his own movie.
Yeah.
I feel like we missed out on a big chunk of what could have been great, because his Batman is in a very interesting position where he is not the only superhero in the movie. In fact, he is by far the weakest by a sheer strength factor superhero in that movie. Oh, there's the Batman credit card. And look, the expiration date is forever. Call back to the previous movie. I think we would have seen some really interesting stuff, because we see the part of Batman that I think is the most interesting, where he doesn't trust anyone or anything.
Yeah.
Where he always has a plan B, C, D, E, and F for getting out of stuff. When he had like the kryptonite, the gas bombs and the spear and all that stuff, like he assesses danger and always plans for it. And that's one of the most interesting aspects of Batman to me. And I think they started that really well in Batman v Superman. And then once Justice League came out, and let's refer specifically to Snyder Cut, because the Joss Whedon cut was all over the place. But the Snyder Cut was actually a very good movie, I thought. And I thought that him dealing with trying to get these other people who are way stronger and more like, have crazier abilities than he does, because let's face it, he doesn't have abilities.
He's got money.
I'm just rich. Having him deal with that and having to be the leader, even though he's not the strongest, gives me like real like Captain America vibes. Captain America, while very powerful and an excellent leader, not the strongest Avenger by far. You got Hulk and Thor hands down being better than him, or stronger than him, I should say. And then Iron Man's suit making him stronger than him too. It's an interesting dynamic to explore. And I feel like if we got his solo movie, we would have gotten a little bit more of how he dealt with the wider DC universe. But I think Christian Bale's got the best one for sure. All right, man. Well, it comes down to this: best portrayal of Batman. Or before we do that, let's do best portrayal of Bruce Wayne.
Of Bruce Wayne?
Right. Because we always talk about how cool Batman is, but we forget that part of his allure is that he lives like this dual life, fighting crime at night.
So I would say Christian Bale, only because he didn't show it much, but I feel like he's the only one who really showed the Playboy side, where he was just like, oh, I'm going to be a fuck boy. And he came with like the ballerinas to the restaurant.
In the Lamborghini.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, you can't do that here. He's like, yeah, I can't. I bought this place. Motherfucker. Like,
yeah, that was fucking sick.
Yeah. Like to me, like, all right, like he's trying to show like, all right, I obviously can't be Batman. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a rich
fucking dumb boy. I mean, that's a pretty good one. So you weren't a fan of, the Michael Keaton turtleneck. He
was too serious. Yeah, the turtleneck. It's the turtleneck.
The turtleneck. I just want a picture of it real quick.
It's the aardvark look, you know?
Oh my
like
God.
Uncircumcised.
Yes, with the glasses. Oh, fuck. So bad. I love it, though. I love it. I say I hate it, but I love this. Look at this. So stupid. I'm actually going to go with Ben Affleck on this one again, too. I think we definitely see an older Bruce Wayne, right? So we're not getting the Playboy, like, banging models and stuff like that on top of a Lamborghini, which I would have paid to watch. Oh, is that Jennifer Lopez? And that's how they got back together. That'd be crazy.
If there was OnlyFans back then, he would have had one for sure.
Fuck yeah. But I think that we see a much more mature Bruce Wayne, but we do see that little, like the balancing side of it where he's going to like Iceland or whatever to meet up with Aquaman, and he just like helicopters in and fucking hikes down the little hill. He's like, oh, I've been looking everywhere for you. I'm like, bitch, you just paid $1 million for that. Or when he's like out, when he has the plane that the bat plane that they're going to wherever they went to in the end of that movie. He's got like all this sick shit loaded up for it, and he's just like, he's like, what's your superpower? I'm rich. I thought he did an excellent job of kind of like seeing the toll that being Batman takes on someone. So it's definitely like a past image of Bruce Wayne. So maybe I'm tied between him and Christian Bale, because I think Christian Bale did do a good job. George Clooney was fucking stupid. Sorry, George. Like, I love you, but that movie was terrible.
Yeah, you do great movies.
You do great movies, and like I would love to see him do a movie written by someone like Christopher Nolan or Zack Snyder, even. Like I don't think he's a bad actor. I think by all accounts he's a very good actor from some of the stuff we've seen.
I'm surprised he hasn't been in a Marvel movie yet. Like, feel like they're kind of running through a lot of the A-listers. They haven't gotten to. Yeah,
I forgot. I did pick him for like one Marvel character. I can't remember who I
don't think he would have been bad as Doctor Strange. He might have been all right.
Yeah, I think he would have been fine as Doctor Strange. I think a few years ago he would have been a good Reed Richards.
Yeah, I'd be down.
I wouldn't be down. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think if we ever do see him, we'll see him as like a one-off villain or something now.
Maybe.
Yeah. But my pick would probably be tied between Christian Bale and Batfleck. That Adam West one was way too zany. Val Kilmer, we got to see him like the serious brooding side of it and stuff, but
actually, yeah, he was a pretty good businessman. Like, I remember when he told Ivy no when she had her wacky idea about like, oh, we need to save the environment, but we're going to kill millions of humans, and like he kind of broke it down of like, that's kind of a dumb idea, and this is why. But he did it nicely.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It was a good business move.
He didn't be like, hey, come see me in my fucking penthouse later, sweet cheeks, and slap her on the ass. That's the Bruce Wayne I want. I want the 2018 Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I guess my close tie would be Val Kilmer. He was a decent Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, honestly, like I didn't mind what's his name, Michael Keaton too, because the one where he's like, come on, the Beetlejuice moment. That's him as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Trying to take on the Joker. And like prove that he's like, I think it was the Joker.
Yeah, it was the Joker.
Prove that he's a tough guy, but he's just a dumbass billionaire who gets immediately owned, and then he puts on the suit later and goes and wreaks havoc. So, it's a hard balance. We talk about that with Peter Parker and Spider-Man, right? Like Tobey was an excellent Peter Parker, maybe not the best Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right. Andrew Garfield, really good Spider-Man. Not a great Peter Parker. Too cool. That guy definitely got too much pussy. And I feel like Tom Holland, we've got kind of a nice mix between the two of them. You know what I mean? All right. Final showdown. Best on-screen portrayal of Batman himself.
I've said it multiple times. Same fucking answer. Ben Affleck, man.
Batfleck.
Even the one, and we've said it multiple times, I'll say it again, the one scene in Batman vs. Superman where he's fighting the villains and he's like using the environment to fuck everyone
the grappling
up.
hook.
Yep.
I'd say like the introduction of Batfleck, the first time we see him as Batman.
You don't see him
warehouse,
and he's just like hiding.
And he's like up. He's like fucking up in the corner. And then we just see him in the gunshot blast, the lighting up the room. I mean, that was sick. And like pulling the floor out. I mean, you could say a lot about those movies.
Just a whole movie of like that, of like even just fighting regular dudes.
I wish
that would have been good.
I wish we got that, Christian, so much. And it might be controversial. A lot of, and don't get me wrong, like we've given reasons why, like the Christian Bale ones were very good movies, and why the Tim Burton ones were very good movies, and why the other ones were very bad movies. But I mean, when we're talking portrayal of Batman, like what Batman stands for from the comics, even the animated series, I think has done a very good job of expanding the lore of Batman, because a lot of us grew up on that, right?
Like Harley Quinn. She wasn't in the comics.
Right. Yeah, she was from the animated series. And look how popular she is now. She's like probably the second most popular Batman villain after the Joker. But I think Ben Affleck he got the raw deal just in the shitstorm that is Warner Brothers. And the more we analyze this as a podcast and talk about movies and the movie industry and how things are being made, the more it makes me realize that Warner Brothers is a fucking shit show. Right?
What are you talking about? Space Jam was amazing. The second one.
You just like the Matrix?
Yeah, the Matrix.
The newest Matrix
awesome.
is so great. Oh God. I think that they've lost touch with what makes movies great and what draws us to love movies. And I think that unfortunately Batman got caught up in that, where they're just like, we're just going to copy the MCU and he's going to be like Tony Stark. He's just going to be super funny all the time. And I think Ben Affleck had enough pull because of the actor he was to say like, hey, I want these changes made. And that's why we got such a great Batman from him. The rest of the movie, various parts fell apart on its own, but him as Batman, hands down my favorite.
He just never got a good deal on the superhero stuff, man. Like Daredevil, fucking Batman. Yeah. It's just like was never good timing.
You know what's funny with Daredevil though? It's a bad movie. Like I'm not going to defend it, but I'm going to give a little caveat for the time that movie came out. It wasn't a terrible.
No, it wasn't terrible
movie. Or a terrible portrayal of Daredevil. There was a lot of cool stuff that they did. I think Michael Clark Duncan as the Kingpin was fucking fantastic. Yeah. And I even think that, what's his name? Colin Farrell as Bullseye got an appropriate level of crazy in there for what Bullseye is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just a bunch of other stupid shit that happened too.
Killed a dude with a paper clip, just like right in the fucking throat.
Yeah, just fucking Bullseye could do that, that's part of it. But yeah, I think that's pretty solid. We'll do a real quick one to finish it off. What's your favorite Batman movie?
Oh, one that I could watch
over and over and over again.
Fuck, man, that's tough, man. I would say the originals just because they're close to my heart. Saw them as a kid.
Which one?
Oh, the Danny DeVito, the second one.
Batman Returns.
Yeah, also because Christopher Walken was in it and he was fucking wacky.
And let's not forget Michelle Pfeiffer as fucking Catwoman.
Yeah, Paul Rubens.
A lot of guys got their first fucking boner to that.
Actually, and
why do I like latex so much?
I just saw a scene of Michelle Pfeiffer. Where she's hitting.
Don't forget that Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian, plays Two-Face, Harvey Dent in that movie.
Well, he wasn't.
He wasn't Two-Face. He was just Harvey Dent. But the scene where she's hitting the mannequins with the whip, that was all her, and it was one fucking take. Oh, so sick.
And then she skipped away after. I was like, dude, that was fucking skillful, but yes, also hot. It was.
Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer, even Christopher Walken. Like, I don't even remember his character's name, but he's a very memorable part of that movie. And then, of course, Michael Keaton, dealing with this whole cast of characters.
And again, Pee Wee Herman. was fucking Danny DeVito's dad in the fucking movie.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was. Did you say Rick Rubin? I think you might.
Paul Rubin.
Paul Rubin. I was like, Rick Rubin was not in that movie.
I don't even know who Rick Rubin is.
He's a music producer. That one, I think Batman Returns is probably my most rewatchable one.
Also, growing up, we had all those McDonald's cups that came out.
Dude, and the toys. Remember the Batman where his utility belt came out on a string so you could grapple him up and stuff? That was fucking, what a time to be alive. Toys, I think, have just fallen by the wayside. But that's my favorite one, too. Let us know what you guys think. Who's your favorite Batman, and what's your favorite Batman movie? And do you agree or disagree with some of our choices? I mean, we throw some blasphemous stuff out there. I think Ben Affleck came out on top, which I think a lot of people will disagree with. But let us know your thoughts. You know, I think we nailed like some of the Batmobiles were really good. The Adam West Gadgets one, though, I can't believe I said that. I believe it.
I wonder what like Adam West like gadgets would come out. He'd definitely have like a simp repellent, bat simp repellent, or something, or a bat fan repellent, just like bat stands. Get
just like a bat woke siren. You're being intolerant. Stop using gendered language.
Although if it was from that era, he would have said some real fucking.
Oh yeah. He probably
some real sexist shit.
There was probably some outtakes from that show that would be like, "Whoa, Nelly." Talk about a dark night. But let us know, guys. Do you agree with us? Do you? What are your picks for best Batman movie? We'd love to see it. You can put those down either in the comments on YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube. And while you're down there, make sure subscribe, por favor. Or you can hit us up on any of the social medias. Christian's very active on Twitter. I'm somewhat active on Instagram. And we both check Facebook and Instagram all the time. So if you send us a message, you are very likely to get a response. Unless you message us during the podcast, in which case we'll ignore you for a little while, then hit you up when we get home. Follow us on those social medias too. We do appreciate that. It really helps us out. What helps us out even more is if you become one of our Patreon patrons. For just $1 or $2 a month, you can help support the show, make it possible, help us make improvements to the show. Plus, you can get fun little perks in there too. And if you want to do it just 1 month, that's fine too. We totally understand. Times are tough, but every little penny helps. So we do appreciate that. And we appreciate all of our patrons who actually support us already. That's why we lift you guys up. We're going to grapple hook you up to the ceiling and pull you down. Oh, we're pulling the credits up. Love that one. Christian, thanks as always being my boy wonder to my Batman.
I'll take it.
I mean, I feel like we should do an episode on Robin sometime.
We should.
Robin doesn't get his due in the movies.
Depends on which Robin you're talking. Well, in the movies,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
He was the best.
He was the best. God, that I remember in theaters when they said that. I was just like, what?
I think a lot of people were saying what.
Yeah, it was so stupid. I can't believe we did that. But yeah, we should do that. But I think we make a pretty good dynamic duo together.
I'm down.
Yep. And remember, get your tickets for The Batman on sale this week. And to all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. And I am Batman.